This time last year, Cole Eiserman was viewed as the favorite to be the second overall pick in the 2024 NHL Draft, and maybe the only player capable of surpassing Macklin Celebrini at number 1. Now, who knows where he's going to end up being drafted. Now, without a doubt, Eiserman is the premier goal-scoring winger in this draft. He's the all-time record holder in goals scored for the U.S. National Team Development Program, and there's been a lot of really good goal scorers that have gone through that program. He actually just surpassed Cole Caulfield's record by 1 goal in the Under-18 World Championships. Nevertheless, he very well may slip now all the way into the late teens of the first round. Eiserman's draft stock, and while it's still high, he's still going to be in the first round. It's fallen significantly over the course of the year as scouts have just found more and more reasons to downgrade him due to concerns about his all-around game. Look, they all acknowledge he's a special goal scorer, and presumably that talent is still going to lead him to be taken in the first round. It's just no one really knows when in the first round he's going to go. Let's dive into Eiserman, the player. If we're talking about his strengths, his main strength is obvious. He's an elite shooter. He probably has the best shooting ability in the draft. As compared to everyone in the draft, he might be the best. He'll shoot from anywhere, and at least at the junior level, he can score from anywhere. One thing I really like about Eiserman's goal-scoring ability, he excels at varying his release points of his shots and varying his shooting angles with his stick. Those are the kinds of goal-scoring skills that aren't necessarily important or necessary at lower levels, but if you're going to score at the NHL level, you have to do those things to beat top-tier goalies, and Eiserman, even at the junior level, already does them. Another major strength of Eiserman's goal-scoring game, he has a knack for finding the soft spots in defenses when he doesn't have the puck. He just knows where to go to put himself in position to receive passes in dangerous areas and then put the puck in the net. And that's not a skill that every single goal scorer has. Some goal scorers have to do all the work themselves. They have to beat guys one-on-one with the puck. Eiserman can make himself a target for passes and then take a full advantage. It speaks to his offensive hockey IQ. Eiserman's also a legitimately good skater. He's maybe not the most explosive in the world, but he flashes a plus gear once he gets going, and I'd say he's no liability in terms of skating. And unlike a lot of goal scorers, especially young goal scorers, Eiserman's not afraid to play a chippy game. He's not really a finesse player. There's some bite and there's some physicality there, and I think that'll serve him well at the pro level. Finally, and this is a low-key important strength of his draft profile, he's very young for his draft year. He doesn't turn 18 until August, and usually guys who are young for their draft year, they tend to have a little bit more untapped potential than their peers. So those are a lot of strengths for Cole Eiserman. Why are scouts so down on him? Well, now let's get into his weaknesses. Unsurprisingly for a goal scorer, one of the big concerns about Cole Eiserman, it's the defensive play. Look, Cole Eiserman cheats for offense, at least at the junior level, a lot. But it goes beyond that. His defensive reads are inconsistent. He can lose focus, lose his coverage. It's just not particularly enjoyable to watch him try to play defense. Now, it's not that he's bad at defense all the time. He'll show flashes of being able to break up plays, of anticipating passes, of back-checking well. He'll make good defensive plays on occasion. It's just that all too often, he looks like a liability. Eiserman's passing and playmaking, it's kind of similar to the defensive play. He's fully capable once in a while of threading a perfect pass and setting up a great goal for a teammate. He flashes real vision at times, but all too often, he'll force passes. He'll deal with turnovers. He'll put his teammates in bad positions. And it's just a part of his game that pops up a little bit too often for scouts' liking. And that goes into the other concern about Eiserman's offense, his shot selection. Yes, Eiserman has a great shot. Yes, he's a volume shooter. But there are some scouts that worry he shoots a bit too much, especially from areas and angles and locations where goals are rarely scored even at the junior level and really won't be scored much at the pro level. It all goes back to one of the biggest lingering concerns about Cole Eiserman, his decision-making. That's a big worry, and it speaks to his defensive play and his offensive play. Some scouts just don't think he thinks the game at a high enough level to be successful beyond his obvious scoring talents. In other words, his biggest detractors view him as an inefficient player. And that's a tough tag to shake. Now, personally, I like Cole Eiserman as a prospect. Look, he has flaws, but it's not like he's a poor defensive forward all the time. It's not that he's an inefficient passer all the time. He shows flashes of being legitimately good in all of the areas that he grades out as poor at. Now, does that mean he's going to fix those flaws? No. He very well may never fix those flaws. but I think he could. He shows flashes of being able to, and he's young for his draft year, which speaks to his upside. And even if he doesn't address any of those flaws, if he always remains a defensive liability, if he's not much of a playmaker, he's still always going to have that knack for scoring goals, which is always going to be a highly valued trait in an NHL forward. I see the risk, and it would probably keep me out of taking Eiserman in the top 10. But for me, at least, he's still very much in that top tier of 12 or 13 prospects after Macklin Celebrini. We'll see if NHL teams agree.
We all silly like the mayor.